Hello, good morning, It's Wednesday again. You are welcome. And those that are coming for the first time, thank you for joining us for the first time. For those that are coming back, thank you so much for your support. We always look forward to interacting with you. And I've noticed that the interactions have actually gone up. So thank you so much. The engagement has gone up. And you've been lovely. I love all the messages, seeing all the support. It's been so great. It makes what we are doing worthwhile. I've had so many people come and ask me, oh, okay, can you mentor me? Can you mentor me? And for me, I am right in the transition between a mentee and a mentor. So I say, okay, I think listen to the weekly academy, mentorship academy from Monday. On Monday, we have Rev Walter. On Tuesday, we have Dr. Sunshine, who is talking about just having a growth mindset and becoming who you really want to be. Who do you really want to be? What do you really want? What are your high payoff activities that are going to get you to what you need? So every Tuesday, Dr. Sunshine is there mentoring how you can turn your negatives into a positives. You do a personal SWOT analysis on yourself. You look at your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, your threats, because sometimes opportunities can come dressed as threats. So you have to know how to turn that into something which is growth. So only when you are in the correct mindset can you recognize that, oh, actually, this is not a threat, it's actually an opportunity. And then also reducing self-sabotage is what she also speaks about. So, and you know, it's so encompassing that you need to make sure that you listen on Monday, you listen on Tuesday. On Wednesdays, we have myself, yours truly, Sampa Salome Mwansa Chilambwe, who is here with just to speak to you about juggling, being a mom, and running your business and doing it all from home. And I'm in the process of setting up a location at McKinney Mall. And this is a big, audacious goal that I have. You can do this. We can do this. We are capable. So, and then on Thursday, we have Dr. Nelly, who is just a powerhouse. She speaks about from how to be present in the boardroom, in the bedroom, to be in your purpose, you know, to be in your purpose, and so that you can grow as an individual and also impact your community positively. You know, there's always these things where you say, okay, have you ever been to a funeral? And they say, funeral can't start until this person comes. So that is what it is. It means that you've shown your value in your community. You need to really show your value for people to say, this person, without this person, we can't start. So this is what we need to do, even as entrepreneurs, even as mompreneurs. And I'm so excited. We're going to have a big announcement during the series of the conversation because I like to have it more as a conversation. Conversations are very important because that's the only way you can communicate what it is that's in your head, right? So you are so welcome to this call. And I love that we are all together. So where are we going to start? What is or who is a mompreneur? You know, I've been advocating for this for quite some time to say, okay, who is a mompreneur? You are a mompreneur. As long as you are doing something with your life and you're doing it mainly from home, then you are a mompreneur. It means that you have decided to take your family spoke wheel of life as the major one. So your wheel is balanced and skewed towards family. So for me, my wheel is very skewed towards family. I have to make sure that my babies have gone to school. Like even this morning, I got my babies ready, took them to school, and made sure that they have their breakfast, make sure that they have their food packed, make sure that I'm going to take their lunch. So these are things that I do deliberately. So what I have done is I've made the business fit into what it is that I'm doing. So because of that, it creates this impetus for you to be bold, to be beautiful. Who are you? What do you really want? So when I understood what I really want, this is when I said, okay, my mentor, who is Dr. Sunshine, she's both my mentor and my mother. And I always like to stress this fact wherever I go to say, I am who I am today, speaking to you because of her. So she is here. You see, she's already in the background. She's always there. Like we were watching this thing where there's this eagle that came and got the cub, the little cub that was walking with the mother. And she says, this is how I feel about you. Where the lion just leaped up and grabbed the eagle and it came down, and then that eagle then became food. So this is who she is. And, she is, and I named my daughter after her. And I'm lucky that all the ones that were having children before me didn't take the name, because I said, this name, it's me who needs to name my daughter after mom, because we are very similar in person, and especially that I've been growing and becoming more of a mom. I've I have emulated her steps and how she's managed to juggle. She's the number one mompreneur. When you need to be at school, she's there. When you need help with homework, she's there. When you need support, she's there. She's always in the background saying, this is what it is. So even when you fall, she's like, okay, what are we going to do about it? And I love her approach. She doesn't feed you. She teaches you how to overcome that on your own. She says, okay, we've got this problem. How are we going to overcome it? So she just holds your hand and says, this is how you should overcome it. And this is the direction you should take. And she's giving direction, and you are following and being obedient in that. So being a mompreneur, it starts from a long line of mompreneurs. My grandma was a mompreneur. My mother was a mompreneur, and now is a mompreneur. She's still a mompreneur. And I am also a mompreneur. So I think from that, we can gather that a mompreneur is someone that has decided to have their family as a primary and also run a business. So not stay at home mom. No, we coin it as mompreneur. So, and then when you are deliberate with that, then you get partners on board, right? So for me, I have quite a few partners, and I'm very happy about this. The partners, there's SBM with the Mindset Change Program. Without the Mindset Change Program, I wouldn't be who I am today. The Mindset Change Program, it has helped with developing a growth mindset. And I don't shy away from saying that I had a successful business until it wasn't successful. And I have learned to differentiate cash flow from profit. And through this, I got into a depression, came out of the depression, and now I am thriving. Now I am raising enough revenue to pay off what it is that I need to pay off, whilst also being assisted by my board of directors, who are my parents, and Mbo Zimba. This is something that I have been very deliberate with. So you need to have a board of directors. It's very, very, very important to put a board of directors who have your best interests at heart. And this is something that I always stress. Why? It's difficult to be a mom and an entrepreneur. So you need a strong support system. So your support system, you need to be also deliberate with them. It's not always money that your board is going to want, but they also want to know that they are running for a good cause. They are sitting on a board, and they have a board of 3 people. They're sitting on your board, and contributing to your growth. And contributing to your growth doesn't just mean giving you financial aid. No, it's not giving you financial aid. It's giving you direction. It's giving you a purpose. It's giving you a vision. It's giving you a way in which you're going to do something, and a way in which you're going to run. So it's so important to make sure that you are running correctly. You are doing things correctly. You have corporate governance, because for you to get funding in your business, you need to show that you have corporate governance. We just came from the just ended GWI conference, and it was so overwhelming and so amazing to see how corporate governance works in action. They can't make a decision until they have a consensus. They have voting pallets, they have abstinence, and they have rejected. It was so amazing. I just said, wow, You know, this is what is missing in most membership organizations. Everybody seems to be skewed more towards saying yes. When the leader says yes, everybody it's a yes. But I loved how, because you know, when you lift up, you are not seeing what other people are lifting up. So when you've lifted it up and you've said, look, this is what I'm going to lift up. This is what I'm going to use to vote. So it's so important. And I hope that other organizations, especially membership-based organizations, can adopt this. It's so, so important. You know, to have a green palette, you have a red one, you have a yellow one. It was so amazing. And, you know, I loved how they incorporated just having consensus and you know, this was graduate women, a room full of intelligent women. It was so amazing. And I had the opportunity of being personal assistant to the president. And I don't take this lightly because of how Dr. Sunshine has molded me into being able to have executive presence. I'm going to borrow her word, and this is how they described her. And I'd like to believe that some of that has spilled onto me, and this is why I was identified to be assistant to the president, Patrice Wellesley Cole. And, you know, she was so amazed to say, oh, wow, I've come to Zambia. I've been assigned someone, and she's so intelligent. And I said, okay, that's how I'm described most of the time. But it's always nice to hear it from someone who doesn't know you and doesn't have to say that. But the fact that they're saying it means that they're giving you that kudos to say, okay, no, you are really doing something about what it is. And I've never been someone to shy away from things that happen. And, you know, being open and being vulnerable is not a bad thing. Asking for help is not a bad thing. And this I have learned from Dr. Sunshine to say, Sampa, be a bit vulnerable. Before I was wearing everything and I'm like, no, I'm tough. I'm Mr. Tough person or Miss Tough person. I can do this by myself. I can do it all. And, you know, such things, they lead to depression. They lead to suicide. We just came from... they just ended Suicide Week. I think it was sometime last Wednesday or so. And, you know, it's something that is so important. You know, depression doesn't come in and knock, oh, okay, yeah, it's now time to be depressed. It creeps in slowly. It creeps in. Before you know it, you can't handle simple rejection. You can't handle simple no's. Everything must be a yes. You know, I've gotten so many no's during this time, but I'm like, okay, at least then for them to say no, it means they've listened to what I want and I'm getting closer to a yes. So it's very important. It's very important to know how to deal with rejection. It's very important to learn how to deal with things. And this then trickles down to your children. And this is why I say being a mompreneur is a lot of work. It trickles down to your children. It trickles down to who you are. It makes you up who you are. You know, you're a summation of what happens to you, and your reactions to situations is what people leave the table saying, oh, okay, you know, there's some growth that has happened here. This is who she is now. You know, in the past, she would not have reacted this way. She would have been upset being presented in a situation like this. And that then is growth. And growth is not understood by yourself. Growth is what now other people feel and then say, this is who you are now. So at this point, I want to now talk about our big surprise. We've been advocating for mompreneurs, and this again came from the GWI conference to say, you know, men have been left behind. And I'm a mother to a son. And it's very important to make sure that we are not leaving the men behind. We are working with them. It's so, so important. And it's just unfortunate that the person who was supposed to make this announcement is not going to be with us, but he will join us in later interviews. He's amazing because, you know, he's juggling, taking care of his kids, taking care of his business, and he does it all with a smile. It does it all. When you meet him out there, you can't know that this is what he's carrying. You can't know. So this is why I say be kind to everybody. Be kind to everybody. You can't know what someone is going through. So it's so important to make sure that we are also bringing the men along. The suicide rates amongst men is too high. It's too high because they're always expected to be tough. They're always expected to be, don't cry because you're a boy. I allow my son to cry. I do. I say, okay, how are you feeling? Why are you crying? And you find he's not crying because of being beaten. He's crying because of the feeling. That feeling he's attached to being beaten. He feels disappointed in himself to say, okay, why did I do something wrong? And I've had to now learn who he is. He's a genius. He's absolutely intelligent, and he wants to dismantle things and see how they work. And then for him, he's experimenting and learning, and then he gets a hiding because of that. So he's like, no, mommy, I was trying to see how this remote or this bike works and this. So why did you give me a hiding? So this is what it is. So now I've had to now start dialoguing with him to understand where he's coming from. Okay, why are you doing this? Oh, because of this, I want to be an engineer. I'm like, oh, you even know what an engineer is? He says, yes, I want to be fixing things. I want to be creating things. I said, okay, but don't use my remote to fix it because now you're giving me expenses. Instead of buying you a toy, now I have to start fixing the remote. So this is what it is. So it's so important to just make sure that you are doing the correct thing, you are dialoguing, and you are not leaving the men behind. And this is why we are happy to announce that we will also be advocating for what we call dadpreneurs, because there's fathers out there who are juggling, taking care of the kids. He's the one who does the school runs. He's the one who makes sure that the lunchbox is filled. He's the one who's making sure that the homework is done. He's the one who's making sure the uniform is pressed. Yes, he's got support of maybe a nanny, but these are things that he's making sure and directly overseeing. So let's not leave them. Important for them to also feel that they're being appreciated. Once they're appreciated, then they can also thrive. They can also know that, okay, it's not just me who's appreciating myself. My efforts are being seen. And those are dadpreneurs. And to make them even more deliberate in what it is that they are going to do. So this is Rev. Walter Mwambazi, who is going to talk about the next time we meet, where he's going to speak about being a dadpreneur and how he's managing to grow his brand, how he's managing to take care of his children whilst his wife is away. We can't call him a mompreneur because mompreneurs, we carry life, the gestation period of having a pregnancy and then delivering makes us mompreneurs. A mom can never be a dad and a dad can never be a mom, but we can call it dadpreneurs. So this is so, so important to make sure that this is what it is. So we are looking forward to having Rev. Walter on our next call. Daddypreneur, I'm so happy and so proud of the fact that you're taking care of the babies in such a way that you are doing it. Yes. So at this point now, I'm going to call Dr. Sunshine just to say a few words. Just to say a few words about just how this is.
I'm just so impressed by, this topic, because this topic is what really makes people shine. This topic is what, even when a duck is on top of the water, you think you are admiring it, even taking pictures. Oh, this is a nice duck, and it's swimming away. But for it to keep afloat, you watch the feet. So the feet, what it's doing under there, it is what every human being does, whether male or female. And as the topic of today goes, people are juggling things. People are busy with things. This morning, we're going to have a Rev, and he sends in our admin group that he's got noise. When somebody says they've got noise, we understand in our own space. We understand that something has happened either with the kids, either with himself, either with surroundings, either with so many things happen. So we understand when somebody has got noise, then we know that things are not. But we don't let it go. It doesn't make us not to do what is supposed to be done. So quickly, I would have been on camera like it is. But I also have my own noise. but the show must go on. It's just 30 minutes. And this is why we are here trying to encourage everyone. Tell your story. What is the story? What is happening around you? It's okay, like what Sampaio was saying, that it's okay to be vulnerable. A lot of things happen to our lives, but we want to hide them and think that it's okay. The only bad things are those things that you are not talking about. And if those bad things that are happening to you and they're not talking about them, it really means that they are now disturbing you. And that's what goes to people, committing suicide, because you think the world is, covered you. The world, you cannot move. But who have you told about your problems? Who have you identified someone to help you? Have you shared, your experiences? Have you been vulnerable, to yourself, so that people can see that you need help? People actually assume. I'll tell you the story that was told by I think it was the late Madame Connie, who was aspiring actually to becoming a president. Those days, it's been about maybe 20 years ago. Her car was down. Her car was down. She didn't have a vehicle. And, those days there were not even Yangos or taxis. So she was walking, trying to wave at passers-by. They thought she was just waving, but she was looking for a lift. Why? They thought that she was okay. There's no way she would be wanting a lift. So when she told her story, I said, oh my goodness. So we really need to be vulnerable, because people perceive. They have attached meaning to everything that is around us. So if you want people to perceive that you are okay, then you're not going to grow in that area of growth. So let's make sure that each time that we have got something we want to share, we share it with empathy. We share it with, kind motivation. We share it with, positive vibes. We call our cocktail chats, even when the people come to our classes, we encourage them to be positive. And when they're positive, you get out exactly what they mean in the right way. You don't even attach meaning, because you can feel it. And when we were actually coming from the GW International Conference, the last day on Sunday, we went to visit, the schools that GW Zambia supports. Then when we were coming, I was with, I think, the vice president, Dr. Margaret. And, she was talking about how positive I was. And she was saying, you can even let someone, do something that they're not supposed to be doing, because everything for you, you've got, a yes, or you've got something nice to talk about something. I said, yes, but can you imagine if we can all live like in the positive mindset where everything is possible? Because indeed, mindset change is possible. So we need to be able to produce that result that we want. If we say something, do we mean it? Yes, you mean it. And if something hasn't worked, like they've got certain rules and parameters where you can't actually talk about this, you can't about that. Like, even like yesterday, we're going to just talk about things that happened, my own experience. But because there is a way that they do it, when they said, oh, okay, you need to get permission for this, you need to get permission, it wasn't a problem for me, because I'm in a growth mindset. They said, oh, really? Okay. I was just going to tell my story and, publicize GW Zambia for having hosted that, and I was part of it. But, it's okay for you to say, this is not the way to, and correct it. A lot of us just want to throw tantrums and, disappoint yourself. And at the end of the day, you have just disappointed yourself and nothing is going on. So if we have to live in a growth mindset, let's do it from ourselves. What is it that I'm feeling? What is it that I can put out there so that other people can emulate and do? Because we live in this one body. When I am a developed person, I am malleable, I am the things that I want. Even the next person is going to be the things that they want. So this mompreneur is a big thing. Dadpreneur is even a bigger thing, because we expect so much from them. And if they cannot deliver, it is a problem. And this is why, we say, let people, you find out what's going on in your life. If you have found out what is going on in your life, and you share the truth. In fact, you're going to be identified wherever you are. You identified as a problem solver. When you're a problem solver, it actually keeps you. You have the energy to go on. But if every time that you want to do something, you are squashed and you have got no voice to say, no, I mean this, then you're going to be disappointed. So I think, forward, let's be that person who is the go-to person from your own home. Charity begins at home. Charity begins at home. What you are impacting, what you're impacting to your family is what they will get. And I'm so proud, of Sampa, what you have gotten out of you being impacted positively. And when you are wrong, we just don't leave you and say, "Oh no, you are wrong. It's okay. Let's." But you follow. If you are punished, you do the punishment. If you are praised, you feel good about being praised. If you are corrected, you do the correct thing. That's what I think I can add to the people that are listening, for us today. Be malleable, be that go-to person, and just make sure that whatever it is that you're doing it from your heart, and you're doing it to be good, and you're doing it for that result that you want at the end of the day. Everyone is looking for a good result at the end of the day. You can go on and finish your call. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. You see how privileged we are on this Mentorship Academy. And I don't take it lightly that they've accorded me the opportunity to take the Wednesday calls. I ride on the shoulders of giants because it's very important. You are less likely to make mistakes. And even when you do make mistakes, they get solved faster because then you have people looking after you. It's like when you're a child and you have your parents there, you're learning to walk and you have someone guiding you there. It makes everything easier. Yeah, it makes everything easier, and you can, when you fall, there's someone there to pick you up. And this is why it's so important to not only have mentors, but have deliberate mentors who you ask, okay, I know you only have X amount of time. Are you able to be on my board? And then that gives you credibility. So even when you're preparing a pitch deck, even when you're going to seek for financing, these are things that you can do. And these are things that give you that sort of seriousness with your business to make sure that what you're doing is correct. Because like I said in the beginning, it's very, very difficult to do things by yourself. Before, I thought I could do things by myself. It worked for a while. Until it didn't. So, there's a saying that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. So this is what I'm going to leave you with today, to say it's very important to surround yourself with positivity. Positivity is contagious. So when you now have a full cup, it's overflowing with positivity. It overflows around to your family. And then from your family, then it flows to your people around you. It flows to your community. After your community, it flows to the nation. With the nation, it flows internationally. So now my positivity, because of Dr. Sunshine, has been felt internationally. Look at my LinkedIn now. I'm like, oh, wow. So this is what Dr. Sunshine was leading to say, Sampa, be positive, be vulnerable, tell your story. When you tell your story, people will see you as real. They won't see you as, oh, she's failed before. She was thinking that she's the one. It makes you relatable. It makes you become someone who they want to work with, because they're like, someone who is willing to publicly admit they've made a mistake, or publicly willing to admit that this is what went wrong or this is what has gone right, is someone who you want in your corner. Because then that person is showing not only integrity, but showing that they are willing to listen and willing to take things correctly. So thank you so much, my community, Wednesday community. We'll see you next week. And let's not forget about the business shower. I'm so excited. Dr. Sunshine, my mentor, and my mother will be holding me a business shower just to commemorate the journey that I've had. And I'm looking forward to having all of you on the 3rd of October. Those of you who will join us, thank you so much for being part of the journey. And this is going international. I'm so excited. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a blessed day. Love you all.